président passer le pouvoir à un anglophone. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah mais c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah mais c'est le président.
Good day, friends of the Cameroons, the beautiful people of the Cameroons, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've come to talk about the difference between federalism and equal status, because a lot of people are confusing the policies of British Cameroon National Party, which is equal status. We don't talk about federalism. We are not interested about federalism. So people keep on saying federalism, equal states, as if it's different. So that's why I'm here today. That's why I want to clarify this. We are different. We are not calling for federalism, and I'll tell you why. Because it is very important. As a constitutional expert, I know this. Sometimes we confuse things. In the early 1990s in the Cameroons, we talk about multipartism. We're just fighting. They gave it to us, but it's still one-party system. So we can still be talking, we want federalism. And they'll give you federalism, it's still one-party system. So we don't want to get into that mix-up. That's why British Cameroon National Party is calling for equal status. First of all, I'll tell you, decentralization, which is devolution, and federalism, they are almost the same thing to me, because to a layman's term, decentralization and federalism means transfer of powers. That's what it means. The difference, the major difference between, I know some people disagree with me, but constitutional lawyers, they always have these arguments. The main difference between decentralization and federalism is that in a decentralization, that's devolution, the central power can take away that decentralization at any time. Unlike federalism, is constitutional. It is difficult for the central government to take that federalism. That's the difference. But we of the British Cameroon National Party, we want to make it clear, please don't confuse our equal status with federalism. Equal status simply means two countries came together in the Cameroons. La République du Cameroun and British Cameroons, they came together. We want that countries to be recognized in the Cameroons. We are not La République du Cameroun. La République du Cameroun is French Cameroon. And I've made it clear on my other political broadcasts, there was nothing like reunification. You cannot reunite something that was not existing. Rio dos Cameros was a slave sugar plantation, so you cannot reunite a slave sugar plantation. Germans, they signed a treaty with King Aqua. They invaded some territories in Africa. It was not a country, so you cannot reunify German Cameroons. The French and English, they defeated the Germans. They partitioned that territory in Africa. It was not a country, so you cannot reunify that indigenous territory in Africa. The only time we became a country was when British Cameroon had a prime minister, Dr. Endeli, a territory, a population, and a political authority. And Aijo was the prime minister of La République du Cameroun. I'm talking before independence, because a country doesn't need to be independent. Before independence, La République had a territory, a population, and a political authority. That was a country. So we had two countries before independence. And the rest, there was slave plantation, colonial power who came there. So two countries came together. So the equal status, the position of British Cameroon National Party, when we say equal status, we should respect the fact that two countries came together. So the form of state now, whatever form of state now is, it doesn't matter. Because we are saying, since La République du Cameroun is using institutions that they inherited from France, like ENAM, École Normale Supérieure, Gendarmerie, unelected governors, unelected SDOs, unelected DOs, military tribunal, France CFA, they are in a French union called CEMAC. We too, of British Cameroon, we inherited more liberal institutions. We had the police, we have a jury system, we don't have this is a military tribunal, we don't try civilian in military tribunal. We want to use our own institution in the territory of British Cameroon, now called Northwest and Southwest. That's our position. That's equal status. We are not interested in federalism. We are not interested in decentralization. Where does decentralization come in? When we recognize these two countries that came together, or the ethnicity, example, decentralization, autonomy will go to all the ethnicity. Bakwere, they will be autonomous. Manu people will be autonomous. Balinyonga, they will be autonomous. Mankon people, they will be autonomous. Every ethnicity in British Cameroon will be autonomous. That is why I'm saying we should not be afraid of Northwest, Southwest divide. We want to have a parliament that will debate our common educational system in British Cameroon, our common judicial system, our police, our justice system, all those things. We need a parliament that we, British Cameroonians, as they call it Northwest and Southwest, we have to debate our common things. We don't need somebody from Yaoundé or from Betua to come and help us to talk about our own educational system or about our judicial system. So that's equal status. And I tell you why I don't like that word federalism. Because when you start talking about federalism, La République du Cameroon agent CPDM, they will start using some people from Southwest region and say, no, we want 10-state federation, we want 15-state federation, and bring that divide. Listen, in constitutional law, they don't ask your opinion about whether you want 10-state or 20-state. We are individuals. We are human beings. We have our customs and tradition. When you are drafting a constitution, you don't draft it to regions. You draft a constitution based on the custom and tradition of the people. In the Cameroons, we have dual heritage. We have what we inherited, the French culture in La République du Cameroon, and the one we inherited from Britain. So we have our customary and traditional or indigenous laws. So when you are drafting a constitution, those are the things you take into consideration, not administrative units. Northwest, Southwest, Central, Littoral, those are administrative units, geographical location. Britain have got 12 regions. Britain, that I'm living in, they have 12 regions. Those are regions. And it is administrative units. Before, Britain used to look at those administrative units differently. But when they brought in devolution, Scotland became a region because it's a country. Northern Ireland became a region because it's a country. And Wales became a region because it's a country. Then the English part, because they are the population, they are the majority. They have about maybe 9 more regions. Those are administrative units. But they recognize the 4 countries. So when we say equal status, not special status, yes, we can have decentralization, but we have to start by recognizing the two countries that came together. If we don't recognize those two countries, we start saying 10-state federation, 2-state federation. La République will do what they did with multipartism. They gave us multipartism in theory. But what do we have? Still one-party system. One-party system simply means if one party have absolute majority, even if you have multipartism, it's in theory. Until the other parties, they have to start compete by reducing that majority. That's when you have multipartism. So we don't have multipartism in the Cameroons. We have what we call, multipartism in theory. So ladies and gentlemen, friends of the Cameroon, if you agree with my ideology, please don't confuse it with federalism. I am being careful. I am making it in our party to be watertight. Because when you talk about federalism, they will give it to you, but it's not federalism. We talk about decentralization in the Cameroons. They gave the Anglophones decentralized special state. Is it existing? No. But we have decentralization in the United Kingdom. It's existing. Decentralization simply means, example, the Francophone side, they will be having their own system of education in French, Francophone style. The Anglophone, they will have their own. That's decentralization. The health system, the policing, who have police, they will have their gendarme because it's their culture. That's how you decentralize things. But in Cameroon, we still have one minister of national education, one minister of health, one minister of territorial administration, minister for the whole Cameroon. So there's no decentralization. When I see the CPDM, responsible people, top people, some of them were my lecturer, they go around lying people that there's decentralization. I'm so disappointed. So ladies and gentlemen, we are willing to work with everybody, political actors in the Cameroons, but our social contract, our manifesto, special status is not an issue at the moment. It's equal status. It's not federalism. Federalism means just transfer of powers. They can transfer powers to anyone. They can transfer powers to any part of the Cameroon, 10 states, 20 states. But we, the equal status means, equal status is not federalism. It means two countries came together. We should recognize the country with the different institutions. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope I've made this position clear between federalism and equal status, which is the policy of British Cameroon National Party. Have a great Sunday. This has been Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Thank you.
Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a dans tout le gouvernement, il y a des vieux, des internationaux de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves.